I had this video on my For You page, okay? And he spoke about, I don't know if you heard it, there's like a couple, I think they were Americans or whatever. So they came to Dubai and they recorded a Muslim woman while she was eating with her husband, and she was covered, her face was covered by the niqab. So those ladies or whoever that was recorded her and made fun of her and put it on the internet, and at the end of the day they got arrested for it, rightfully so, right? So he spoke about that, and he talks a lot about respect. Also, when you look at the caption, it says in the UAE we respect all, and that's the point I want to talk about. Now, I went back to look at his content, and this is not a personal attack, mind you. He is a very good representation of many people in the Arab world, in North Africa, that don't do what they're supposed to do, okay? Because when you call out people, rightfully so, for their wrong behaviors towards your own people, particularly towards your sisters, as you should. However, if you limit that to only your own people, it's useless, right? It's useless, especially when you say that in the UAE, we respect all, because we know damn well you don't. We know damn well you do not respect all. You don't give two shits about black women. Let's start there. And I went to his content. I went through his content a bit, and I looked for things like that. I might have missed it. I stand to be corrected 100% of the time. So if I missed it, I'm truly sorry. I'm not, clearly, I make mistakes like everybody else. So if I have missed it, I'm truly sorry. I stand to be corrected on that. That does not take away from the fact that if you are aware of women's discrimination, as you should be, and you know what Muslim women go through, particularly when they wear the hijab or the niqab, and you rightfully make content about that, and you talk about the discrimination that our Muslim sisters go through globally, particularly in their own countries, by tourists, okay? The fucking audacity for you to be a tourist, a guest in that country, and then wanting to discriminate someone, or even recording that person, that woman in this case, without her consent, putting it on the internet and making fun of her. Your ass should be in jail. And I hope that is a lesson for each and that's a lesson for each and every non-Muslim, that if you go to a Muslim country, you have to respect their rules. If you go to any country that's not your own, that's culturally different than yours, you have to respect the rules. It's very simple. Know where you go to, research where you're going to, and adapt to the local culture. It's really that simple. Doesn't take nothing away from you. And if you can't do that, stay your ass at home. Okay, it's that simple. Now, the thing is, when I see content like this, and I have not only seen it from this particular content creator, but from many Arabs or North Africans, or generally people of color that are not black, talking about the discrimination that Muslim women go through. But you are so very silent when it comes to black Muslim women or black women in general. You're so very silent when it comes to the wrongdoing of your own communities towards black women, particularly modern day slavery, that you're very aware of. You can't fucking tell me that you do not know, because the UAE is one of the major slave holders still in this day and age when it comes to black women, particularly black women from the eastern part of Africa. So what is it? What is it that you don't care about? Why is it that you speak about the oppression and the discrimination that Muslim women go through, but you draw the line when it comes to black women, and you fail to take accountability for your own people? You fail to take accountability for all our communities across the North African part of the world and the Arab part of the world, because you should know damn well that yes, our people are in many cases, I would say in 9 out of 10 cases, racist towards our black siblings. It doesn't even matter if you are on the continent of Africa or in the Arab world like you are. Wherever you go, that is not a predominantly black society, black people are being discriminated upon. And if you are protecting your own women, you have to protect that you have to extend that protection to all women, because you own that to all women. Because as a man, you benefit from patriarchy, whether you like it or not. Of course, you are also a victim of racism. Nobody said that. And at the end of the day, we all have a common enemy. But if your protection and your creating awareness about the oppression of women isn't intersectional, respectfully, it's useless. And the fact is that even when our sisters from the Middle East, from North Africa, experience discrimination and racism and Islamophobia, and this is being called out, we still fail to acknowledge the racism that flourishes in our community, the racism that flourishes in our countries. It doesn't matter if it's Morocco, it doesn't matter if it's Algeria, if it's Tunisia, if it's Egypt, if it's the Middle East, if it's the Arab world, I don't care. Once Black people are the minority in these countries, they are being discriminated. And at the end of the day, like I said, we all have one common enemy, and that's white supremacy. And if you're not ready to stand up against your own people because your own people do the wrong thing, then you might as well delete your account at this point. Because way too often do I see Arab men, Muslim men, not African men protecting our own sisters, but at the end of the day, completely forgetting that sisterhood and that community feeling extends particularly to those that don't look like us and that don't make the same experiences than us. Because we all owe the Black woman to protect her. And the Arabs, particularly the Arabs, the Gulf Arabs, and particularly not Africans, we have failed our Black sisters over and over and over again of the last hundreds of years. So I think when you're making content like this, you should be intersectional. You are to point out that racism that flourishes in our communities. You are to point that out. And this is our responsibility to talk about the wrongdoings that we are still enabling in our own communities. We all know how our people speak about Black people behind closed doors. You know how our people speak about Black people behind closed doors. You know damn well how Arabs, how North Africans that are not Black speak about Black people when Black people are not present. Fuck, even when they are present in many cases. You are aware of that. We all know that. This is like an open secret. It's like the fucking elephant in the room. And if you cannot be intersectional and point out all these things, it's not just pointing fingers at the people that are mistreating women that look like you, that share the same culture and beliefs that you. It is particularly those that come from our own side. It is that discrimination that comes from our side towards our Black sisters. You need to do better. Because over and over again, I see the same pattern. I see the same way. I see the same going about it. It is you want your community protected, but you are not ready to extend that protection to people that look like you. And that's useless. Okay, that's useless. And by the way, that's also not very Islamic of you. It's not, because there is no racism in Islam. There is no race and there is no racial discrimination in Islam. In Islam, every woman has the same words. Every woman deserves the same respect. So if you talk about in the UAE, we respect all, then make sure that your people respect all. Make sure that your people stop enslaving Black women from the eastern part of Africa, particularly from that side. Make sure that Black people can actually be safe in the presence of your own people, so that if our people all gather together, Black people don't need to wonder if they're going to be wanted or not, if they're going to be racially discriminated upon or not, by people that don't look like white people, but still at the end of the day don't share no community, not a single piece of empathy or anything of that nature with them. Oh, and just before I end this video, even if this particular content creator I pointed out has spoken about the modern day slavery that the UAE still enables towards Black people, even if he has spoken about this, that doesn't take away from the fact that it is still very present. It happens every single day, both in North Africa and in the Arab world, and it doesn't take away anything of what I said. Because just because this one person might be innocent of what I'm accusing our communities of, doesn't mean that the others are innocent. Do with this information as you wish.